I have a confession to make. I have been teaching people how to craft elevator pitches for years. I've taught them how to introduce themselves in a way that actually tries to get information out there about what they do for other people in a way that, to be honest, could be considered salesy. But guess what? As I was creating networking school last summer and into the fall, I had an epiphany. I would write in one part of the training that they needed to create an elevator pitch. And in another part of the training, I would say, don't sound salesy. Don't think of it as a pitch. It's a relationship builder. And so when you think about that, I was kind of talking out of both sides of my mouth. And it made me really pause and say, Mindy, what are you really trying to teach people to do? And that's honestly where the tagline for networking school came from, because it really sums up why we're doing this. And so the tagline is be known for what you do best. Okay. So it's not about collecting business cards. It's not about collecting leads. It's not about leaving an event or connecting with people on LinkedIn in a way that makes them feel like we're pitching to them. Because let's be honest, when's the last time someone pitched to you and it actually made you want to get to know them? It doesn't happen anymore. Modern day networking has absolutely changed. Whether you're networking in person or online with LinkedIn, you need to come across in a way that someone wants to build a relationship with you, because that is the key to effective networking. We know that networking is not about performing, it's all about connecting. So, in this episode, I'm going to explain why I believe the elevator pitch is dead and exactly what you should do instead. So, a little story, I was teaching a live session for networking school this week. And we have a training module, a lot of training modules actually in the course. And one of them is on how to create what I consider to be the opposite of an elevator pitch. I call it a known for statement. So I had asked the members to go ahead and watch the module and then to draft out what their known for statement was, and then come to the call and be prepared to share and practice. Now, I'm no stranger to training and development, and I know that when people are asked to either role play or when they are asked to share in a group, oftentimes people get a little hesitant. And so, even on the beginning of this call this week, it was a little quiet in the beginning. I could see that people were a little tentative about sharing what they came up with, just for fear of being in a room of people they didn't know. But what happened on that call was pretty magical. Everyone started out a little bit tense, and as the call went on, it became warm, energizing, and actually every single person on that call engaged. They did their known for statement and they helped others craft theirs. And I noticed that real connections were starting to happen with the members of networking school. And it just enforced the whole reason why I created this program. So people learned how to do it effectively and had a place where they were safe to practice and to be known. And at the end of that call, members left laughing, feeling relaxed, and feeling that if they were going to go over to LinkedIn right now, or if they were going to walk into a networking space, they knew exactly how to introduce themselves in a way that feels way more confident than the old school elevator pitch. As I reflected on why I thought the elevator pitch was dead, I came up with four main reasons that I believe this. First, people simply do not want to be pitched to. They want to connect. No one goes into an event hoping that someone will pitch to them. And I think we can all agree when we open our DMs on LinkedIn and we get those pitch emails, it feels awful. It doesn't make you want to respond or connect with the person, even if they're trying to pitch you something that you need. It's just not how you want to have a business relationship. So when we think about that, the old school elevator pitch is a one-way sale instead of building a two-way relationship. And two-way relationships are how you become known. Next, elevator pitches sound so scripted and not very authentic. Because elevator pitches are usually long and we're trying not to forget something that we wrote out, they can actually make us lose our presence in the situation, taking out that warmth that we're actually looking for. The listener feels that performance and they don't really think about the relationship. They're thinking, what is this person trying to get me to buy? And none of us like that. So, third reason is the traditional elevator pitch is really focused on you and what you're hoping the other person will do. It's not really focused on being known. You're actually trying to get something out of that conversation. And when we think about that, it's hard for people to champion us in other rooms when we're asking them to kind of remember a pitch. We don't want other people to pitch on our behalf. We want people to introduce us to other people. That's all they really need to do. Having a scripted and long elevator pitch does not help us be known. Modern day, but on the flip side, modern networking thrives on shared value and mutual benefit. And last, elevator pitches are simply forgettable. It is too much to ask someone to remember them. Everyone kind of sounds the same. They say things like, "Hi, I help businesses blank, blank, blank," right? You hear so many people start with, "I help." And I will tell you, like I said in the beginning, I used to teach people to do this. I used to teach people to create their I help statements. But now I have had an epiphany and I know that they do not work anymore. There's no emotional hook, there's no memorable anchor. It is forgettable and people forget it the moment you start talking. So if the elevator pitch doesn't work, what should we do instead? We should shift the focus to creating a known for statement. And I got this name because I thought about what are we really trying to do? Are we trying to pitch someone or are we trying to help people remember us? And also inside networking school, I use a framework called the Remember Me Roadmap. And the first part of that is figuring out how we are going to be memorable and saying that to other people. So when I started to really unpack, like, was my teaching consistent across the curriculum I was creating, I knew I had to call it something different. And so that's why I'm calling it a known for statement. And frankly, it's simple. I am going to teach you the formula now, and I'm actually going to put it in the show notes too, so that you can learn how to create your known for statement after listening to this podcast. So the formula goes like this: I am, and you fill in your job title and your role. Who, fill in what you do so they can get a result. Okay. So you need these three things in order to create your known for statement. You need your job title and what you want them to remember. You need what you do, and you need a result or outcome that comes from knowing you, comes from working with you. And I'll tell you, this can change in different situations. So it's not scripted. It's not one known for statement that you say over and over again. In my case, I am an HR and business consultant. So I might say one thing if I'm in a room of people who might hire me to do that. And another side, I'm a keynote speaker. And so if I were with people who needed employee training and development or speaking, I would say my known for statement a little bit differently. So again, these are the three things you need: your job title, what you do, and the result you get. And it needs to be succinct. It's no longer this 4-sentence thing. It's really succinct. Let me tell you why this works. It works because it's clear, it works because it's conversational, and because it helps others easily remember what you do. And that is what the goal of networking is, so that you can be remembered. You want your known for statement to focus on who you help and why it matters, right? So that it can be memorable. Right. Let me give you some examples and then I'll talk more about how to create it. I am an operations strategist who works with small business owners to simplify their operations so they can focus on growth. The next one, I am a career consultant who guides college students to discover their strengths and land their first job with confidence. I am a business consultant who helps CEOs create people first cultures so that they can focus on scaling their business. Okay, so let's talk about how this might be rememberable. The first one, I'm an operations specialist who works with small business owners to simplify operations so they can focus on growth. And this kind of even relates to the third one. You say exactly what you do. You are an operations specialist. What do? You simplify operations. And why, or what's the result of that? So that owners can focus on growth. So you could say that in a room, and somebody could then be at dinner with a friend or lunch with a friend or at a chamber event, and they're hearing someone talk and they're hearing and they're listening. Gosh, this guy or this lady is stressed because they're too knee deep in the operations of their business, and it's hard for them to pull back so they can focus on strategy. You know what? I know somebody who helps with that. Or let's look at the next one. I'm a career consultant who guides college students to discover their strengths and land their first job. All the person needs to remember is that I work with college students who are looking for a job. Okay. And when you think about that, we could remember that in so many situations. We could be talking to our sister whose kid is graduating from college. We could be talking to a business client who is just saying, I just got back from my daughter's graduation, right? So there's different times that people are going to remember that. And that is different than pitching. So, with those examples, I want to encourage you to actually pause before you go into a networking event or before you start sending a DM or introducing yourself on LinkedIn, and think about, for that person, what do you want to be known for? What do you want them to remember so they can champion you in another room? And so, how do you test that? Well, the litmus test is actually, if your best friend can't repeat your known for statement back to you, then you have to simplify it. If your best friend, your spouse, your coworker can't repeat that back to you, then you have to simplify it. And I also think you're going to learn just from practicing, right? So even practice this week, practice saying what you're known for to someone else and see if it sticks. See how it feels. See how it feels to you. I will tell you, by the end of the call we had in networking school this week, people felt good. They felt natural, and they felt like they could be their authentic self. So make sure that you craft it for each individual situation, that you get feedback from somebody you know before you use it, and then actually practice it. Think about how you feel when you say it, and if it feels better than the old school way of trying to pitch. I knew I had to replace the elevator pitch, but there is one thing that an elevator pitch and a known for statement have in common, and that is that it is brief, and you could say it honestly between floors of an elevator, something that is so succinct. That's the one thing that really links the two together. But I encourage you to ditch your elevator pitch and think of how you could introduce yourself so that someone could repeat it and remember it, because that is your goal. Modern day networking is not the same as we used to do it. It's not about sounding impressive, it's about being remembered. And honestly, I'm finding so much joy in teaching this to people inside networking school, because it doesn't matter what you're trying to get someone to buy from you in the long run. It's a matter of you being comfortable, you actually saying, I can network even if I'm an introvert. I can network even if I am not well rehearsed or even if I don't have something that I'm trying to sell. You can do it because you're trying to be remembered. And the known for statement is a clear and easy way that empowers others to champion for you. If today's episode helped you rethink how you show up in networking, you may want to join networking school. The doors are open and you can join at any time. You can find more information in the show notes below. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend, give it a 5-star review, and hit that subscribe button. That helps me get my education and training out to more people so that we can create networking that feels right. Until next time, have a great week, practice your known for statement, and I'll see you in next week's episode.